The Chicago Bears are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals here. Both of these teams coming off of a loss. You want to talk about the Bengals or you want to talk about the Bears?
Look, I think an underrated story with the Bengals offense the last couple of weeks, and this might be even more important now this week with the question mark on whether or not Joe Flacco is going to play with an AC joint sprain in his shoulder. Could it be him or could it be Jake Browning? But either way, the last 2 weeks with the Bengals scoring 30-plus, a lot of it's come from their run game. Chase Brown, Samaje Perine have been really good. Even Joe Flacco with a couple of important runs, one in each of these last 2 games. I saw it last week on a scramble. But look at the Bengals, 92 rushing grade and 7 yards per carry. That's elite stuff. 21 missed tackles forced, 13 explosive runs. Chase Brown and Samaje Perine have been a big reason for their offensive success the last 2 weeks, despite obviously the loss last week to the Jets. That was more on their defense, but I think they're going to need to run the football well again against this Bears defense, especially if Jake Browning now is going to be the quarterback again with Flacco hurt. We'll see if Flacco ends up playing. There seems to be a lot of question marks around that, but if Chase Brown and Perine keep the rhythm going on the ground and the offensive line at least keeps blocking at a respectable level, then the Bengals with a little more balance can be a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, as somebody who is an owner of Chase Brown on multiple fantasy teams, I certainly noticed that they've been running the ball a little bit better over the last couple of weeks, but it is sort of an underrated part of what the Bengals have been doing over their last 2 games. And so if that gets to continue, like you said, it brings a lot of balance to this offense and you feel a little bit better about it. To be honest with you, man, I think that this game kind of just comes down to Caleb Williams, and I know that that's a very obvious one, but I'll get into something that's a little bit more within the details. But, we saw from Caleb last week, Caleb has the ability to hit the big-time throws, but he also just has some really frustrating misses. He is, it feels like, in the Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray type of tier and conversation where these guys can give you just brilliance and some throws that you go, man, that is a franchise caliber quarterback type of a throw. And then they'll just have these misses that'll have you pulling your hair out. And so we highlighted on the Monday show how Caleb's lack of fundamentals, marrying up his lower body mechanics to his upper body mechanics when it comes to his throwing motion, have been a reason why he has just been inaccurate at times. And if he's able to be a little bit more cohesive and just, I think, more of a smooth and thorough process when it comes to releasing the football and, like I said, marrying up those lower body and upper body mechanics, I feel like he will have the opportunity to complete some pretty big throws in this game, and the Bears can come in and get a victory. And a matchup that I'm looking for specifically, though, outside of the obvious, Caleb has to play well, I think, for them to win this game on the road. This might be the Colston Loveland breakout game. So when you look at the last 3 games that Colston Loveland has played, I know it's been a slow start for him through this season, especially when compared to a guy like Tyler Warren, who has a good case to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Colston Loveland has at least 4 targets and 3 catches in each of the last 3 games. When you look at the Bengals linebackers right now, they're playing the young guys. They're playing Demetrius Knight. They're playing Barrett Carter. 34.9 coverage grade this season from the Bengals linebackers, not just those 2 guys, but everybody. And so that middle of the field and where those linebackers are picking up not just running backs, but also specifically in this instance, tight ends, I think that we could have a pretty big Colston Loveland day, or at least the best yet that we have seen from him. So that's sort of something I'm going to have my eyes on, even from a player prop perspective as well. I think this could be a nice Colston Loveland type of a game. I'm going to say that the Bears come into Cincinnati and win this game. I'm going to say 27-21 is the final score here, and I'm going to say Chicago gets it done and bounces back.
I originally had the Bengals written down to win, and then this Flacco news came out, and I changed it. I have 24-20 Bears. Right now, look, he's not practicing today. It's really a true 50-50 situation if he's going to play on Sunday. And the other thing about those linebackers, too, for the Bengals is that you're dealing with Ben Johnson and these outside zone run schemes. It was something you mentioned in the previous review show about how they struggled against the Jets in that same system, right? It was Tanner Engstrand coming in from under Ben Johnson. Now it's Ben Johnson himself. And last week, the Bears got away from the run game a little bit. It wasn't great last week against Baltimore. It was great the previous 2 weeks against Washington and New Orleans. I think they get back to that a little bit and try to control the pace of this game for Caleb Williams. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai could have big days against this Bengals front seven. I'm going to take the Bears to win 24-20.